the golden halo cracks. Growing up under Dad was like living in a Costco sample, free, crowded, and somehow you always left with a giant tub of something you didn't ask for. His charity put him on magazine covers and refrigerator magnets. He gave speeches about generosity while unplugging nightlights to save the grid. At home, he'd cut paper towels into thirds like they were luxury sashimi. "Waste not," he'd say, sawing a bounty strip with the focus of a surgeon. We ate cereal with water once. He called it hydro milk. I called it therapy fuel. Family events were fundraisers with better pie. Aunt Lisa cried when he walked into rooms. My step-siblings posted boomerang videos of champagne clinks for the kids. I wore the one thrift store suit I trusted and stood by the shrimp tower like a decorative plant that occasionally recalculated costs per prawn. Everybody praised St. Dad for building hope. The man built hope the way raccoons build nests, in your trash, at night, with glowing eyes. Then the grant board called me, the family's human calculator and designated driver of common sense. Some national foundation wanted to partner with Dad's nonprofit, but they had a quirky new requirement: independent internal vetting. Translation: could I take a spin through the numbers and make sure rescue puppies wasn't code for yacht fuel? Career jackpot, last shot at Dad's respect, and maybe a chance to make sure the money actually reached people who needed more than decorative shrimp. I floated the idea at dinner. Dad pinched the candle wick to save the last quarter-inch. "Son, you don't need to waste your time. We've got auditors." He said auditors, like mosquitoes. My stepbrother toasted to Dad, the most generous man alive, the man who once wrapped a gift in newspaper so he could return the real wrapping paper. I volunteered anyway. Therefore, Dad helpfully sent me a curated PDF set with the smoothness of a magician picking his own deck. Everything looked flawless. Fonts matched, totals tied, the logos lined up like they'd attended etiquette school. If money had manners, this was Downton Abbey. But metadata whispers. The files were edited at 2:03 a.m. by Linda. Linda is the office manager who falls asleep during webinars and believes her desktop background prevents viruses. Midnight Linda doesn't fix decimals. Midnight Linda hides dragons. On the surface, the bank deposits landed right after Gala photos hit social. Every time someone clapped in evening wear, a deposit appeared as if applause wrote checks. Receipts sparkled, but the shadows on the PDFs were copy-pasted like a meme of a shadow pretending to be a shadow. Q4 bank statements were missing. Missing like my dad at every school play where I had a line longer than high. I asked for API-level transaction exports. Dad texted, "Take a break, go outside, touch grass." I touched a new spreadsheet instead. Family pushback hit like a group chat migraine. "Don't stress, Dad," my stepsister wrote. "He's generous." Generous with whose money? The conversation turned into an emoji battle. Prayer hands, hearts. One rogue eggplant. I still don't understand. I smiled, brewed discount coffee, and opened a tab labeled Problem Children. Top of the list, anonymous benefactor number 7, funding emergency youth retreats. Emergency youth retreats sounded like a summer camp where teenagers learned to dodge subpoenas. I started compiling vendor names. GoodWorks Logistics LLC popped up with an address matching Dad's golf buddy's mailbox place. If kindness had a UPS store, it lived there. Another vendor, Harbor Light Advisors, which billed 5 figures for impact consulting, a term that usually means we made a deck with word clouds. One invoice contained a VIN number. VIN numbers belong to cars, last I checked. If your program costs include tailpipes, I'm listening. I asked for read-only bank access. Dad replied with a new set of PDFs. The files were so over-curated they smelled like a scented candle named Alibi. He looped in the board chair, who wore cufflinks shaped like tiny yachts, which felt like foreshadowing you could see from space. The chair said, "We are proud of our stewardship." I said, "Cool, can I see the stewardship's back end?" He said, "We prefer to steward the narrative. Narrative stewardship is not GAAP." So I filed lawful data requests, politely citing sections that make accountants feel like Batman. Dad called, soft preacher voice activated. "Son, step away. Take a vacation." Last time he said that, he surprised me with a trip that was actually a roofing job at the cabin. I said, "Love you. Send the QuickBooks audit trail." He hung up to save minutes. Literally. We shared a family plan, and he monitored usage like the NSA. Then a junior bookkeeper pinged me, whispering through typos, "Check the IP logs." She didn't say anything else, probably because the office plants are wired. Therefore, I pulled email headers, S3 access logs, and the QuickBooks audit trail. I also visited the garage, where Dad stores valuables, which mostly means broken things he swears are pre-broken by history and will be Sotheby's material any minute. Under a tarp labeled Old Sports, I found my childhood iPad, a chubby rectangle with a cracked screen protector that looked like a frost pattern. It was still logged into the family email. It's still auto-synced. That's when the golden halo started to flicker. Not out. Flicker. Like a dimmer switch, someone named Consequences had started to turn. The audit begins. Paper smiles, digital frowns. The curated PDFs looked like a skincare commercial for numbers. Poreless, glowing, absolutely lying. Page 1 had a mission statement so wholesome, it practically asked to borrow my sweater. Page 2, the first receipt, community wellness, bulk protein bars. Line item detail? Variety. Quantity? Many. Cost? Depends. That's not accounting, that's a horoscope. Metadata time. I pop the files open, and there it is. Edited 2:03 a.m. by Linda. Midnight. Linda rides again. Linda, who still prints emails, apparently time-traveled into these PDFs to rearrange reality. I picture her in a cardigan whispering, "Shh, decimals," while copy-pasting shadows like they're stickers. One receipt shadow actually overlaps the text box like a ghost hugging a lie. Romantic, but not Gap. Deposits line up with Gala photos in a way that would make a conspiracy theorist start a podcast. Click. Caught Dad laughing with a Senator Kaching. Deposit from anonymous benefactor number 7. Another photo. More applause. Cha-ching. Emergency youth retreats. If applause deposited cash, my student loans would have been gone in high school choir. But then Q4 bank statements vanish like socks at our house. The quarter where bonuses happen, year-end gifts roll in, and Santa files 990s? Gone. I email for API-level exports. Real data, not PDF perfume. Dad replies, "We'll send summaries. Don't get bogged down." He CCs the board chair and comms. When comms is in an accounting email, someone plans to lie with fonts. I reply with a smile emoji and attach a lawful request that sounds like Batman's bedtime story. Pursuant to section yada yada, furnish read-only access. My therapist would be proud. The family chat lights up like a fundraiser thermometer. Stepsis, you're stressing Dad. Stepbro, we have auditors. Aunt Lisa, 17 doves and a gif of a candle. Dad, thumbs up. Me. Cool, can I see the raw transactions? Silence so loud I could hear the spreadsheet judge me. Fine. New tab. Vendors that feel like Scooby-Doo masks. GoodWorks Logistics LLC, mailbox store address. Invoices with inspirational quotes in the footer. Do good, be kind, ship pallets. Pallets of what? Feelings? Harbor Light Advisors. 10-page invoice for impact realignment sessions, which sounds like expensive PowerPoint yoga. Then a golden ticket. VIN numbers buried in program support. Nobody puts VINs in the corner unless they want a clerk to fall in love with a database. I copy VINs into the DMV portal like I'm on a date. The titles land at an LLC whose manager happens to be the same registered agent as GoodWorks. They're all at the same UPS store, which is basically an evil strip mall with a notary. I call the bank for confirmation of signers. Legal, polite, firm voice engaged. The rep asks for authorization. I have it. He asks for mother's maiden name. I give it. He asks. And the secondary passphrase? Dad said it years ago. I try stewardship. No. Legacy. No. Coupons. Yes. Of course it's coupons. The universe is a comedian. The read-only bank feed pings alive. Rows flood in like little confessionals. Transfers from the trust account labeled donor advised, temp. Temp, like temporary? The temp that keeps repeating. Dates line up with my birthdays and milestone moments like the bank wanted a scrapbook. On my 18th, a neat 100 grand zips into Harbor Light, then into GoodWorks, then into emergency youth retreats, and then, oh look, an auto loan payoff for a coupe my stepbro won in a raffle. Raffle of one. The iPad in the garage is still sinking like a loyal dog nobody fed. The mail client coughs up drafts of wire memos. Linda tried to spell benefactor 3 ways before settling on benefactor. There's a memo template. Reclassification to DAF, programmatic pipeline. Translation: steal it, but use a long word. Attached to one draft is a screenshot of my trust account summary. My name, my balance, a cheerful graph doing a ski slope into someone else's driveway. Dad pings me. Proud of you digging in. Take a break. Attached is another PDF packet so airbrushed it should have come with contouring tips. The line items for emergency youth retreats now list transportation safety. I match the dates to the VIN loans and the title transfers and catch a charming detail. The retreat was at sea, on a boat whose name is a Bible verse. He titled it under Emergency Youth Retreats LLC, which technically makes it a floating program resource. I check the AIS logs because, yes, the internet has boat stalkers, and see it pinging near the Bahamas during a community literacy workshop. Nothing says literacy like international waters. I call the junior bookkeeper. She whispers like the file cabinets are wearing wires. He makes us print the audit trail and keep it in a binder named Kitchen. I say, like, the room? She says yes. The binder is in the break room, behind the decaf. Of course it is. I ask about the IP logs. She says the system admin password is the cat's name plus 123. I try it. Boom. Logins from Dad's study at 1:59 a.m., Linda at 2:03, and a third from a Florida condo listed under Harbor Lights Retreat Center. The condo HOA newsletter is in the inbox with a note. Please stop grilling on balcony. Our retreat center is singeing pelicans. Every 30 minutes I stop, breathe, and ask, would I keep watching this? Add a twist. Anonymous benefactor number 7, I triangulate micro gifts with timing and memo styles and land on a very familiar wallet. My godfather, who thinks Venmo is the devil and writes checks that smell like pipe tobacco. Except his donations were backfilled after transfers, round-tripping to look like support. He's not the donor. He's a decoy sticker slapped on a bank statement. I cue a tiny test, a $37 restricted grant with a memo that says Project Breadcrumb Alpha. Within 48 hours, Breadcrumb Alpha appears in GoodWorks, then Harborlight, then a new LLC I haven't seen, Mentor Craft Events. I Google it. Their last Insta post is my step-siblings on a boat doing team building. Caption, impact is better on a deck. I agree, especially when it's seized. Act I, meet the antagonist, the system, not just Dad. Here's the part where I admit the villain isn't just my father's coupon-hoarding soul. It's the ecosystem that grew around him like ivy on a condemned building. Dad is the statue in the courtyard, sure, but the pigeons, the plaque, the tour guide with the headset, they're all in it too. The board looks like a yacht club married a Rotary Club and had children named Stewardship and Optics. They clap on beat when he says impact and offbeat when I say bank fee. One guy insists governance is a vibe. The treasurer treats spreadsheets like horoscopes. I'm a Scorpio budget. Their auditor? A sleepy firm whose logo is a serif yawn. They send management letters that read like apology notes to a plant they forgot to water. Vendors orbit like moons, GoodWorks, Harborlight, Mentorcraft, each with glossy brochures and P.O. boxes at the same strip mall where dreams go to notarize. They invoice for ecosystem synergy and capacity marination. Capacity marination is either a sauce or a felony. Meanwhile, donors post selfies at Galas, tagged "so humbled," while holding centerpieces that cost more than an after-school program's art supplies. If I'm wrong, I'm the guy who slandered a saint and stapled family peace to a subpoena. If I'm right, I'm the guy who sets the living room on fire to kill the mold. Either way, Thanksgiving becomes a deposition with pie, so I file lawful data requests like I'm courting the truth with flowers and a restraining order. I cite statutes that could lull a tiger. I keep my emails short and polite, like a barista who knows you're stealing sugar packets. Dad replies with the preacher voice, warm as a quilt with a wiretap. Son, take a vacation. The last vacation was distributing pamphlets in a parking lot and calling it community outreach. I say, love you. Send server logs. He ups the charm. You're tired. Take a beach day. The man who considers Central Air a moral failure wants me to find sand. I stay home and date my spreadsheets. Then a junior bookkeeper sends me that 2-word miracle, IP logs. She's probably sitting 3 feet from a fern that's definitely a microphone. Bless her anxious heart. Therefore, I start combing through headers like lice checks for lies. Email routes from Dad's study. Logins needle through a VPN that might as well be labeled totally not Dad's condo. QuickBooks Audit Trail shows late-night edits where restricted becomes reclassified. Reclassified the way a raccoon becomes a forest dog. The S3 access logs reveal a script. Linda logs in, prints PDFs, overwrites the pretty ones. A Florida condo IP uploads a board-approved audit signed by a firm that doesn't exist outside a Wix template and a stock photo of 3 people pointing at a pie chart. Their address? The strip mall of moral compromises. The certificate number? It's a birthday. My father loves numbers he won't forget, like his, mine, and any coupon expiration. I widen the circle. The state registry shows the same registered agent signing for half the constellation. He's a notary of no questions asked. The charitable registration office stamped renewals like they were bouncers at a club with no mirrors. The bank's automation flags structuring, then snoozes it because someone clicked board restricted transfer. When you say board enough times, compliance takes a nap. Across town, blissfully unaware of the danger, the event planner confirms mentorship yacht dates for a youth empowerment intensive. Guest list includes 0 youths and my stepbro's barber. Impact must have a tight fade. The boat's AIS pings again, humble bragging its latitude while transportation safety eats another line item. I show up to the office under an alias I invented for fun, consultant hat, neutral smile. The receptionist hands me a guest badge that says Thought Partner. I am deeply thought partnering with felony. On the wall, a donor plaque shaped like a heart, names etched in brass. I trace a finger and whisper, I'll get you out of here. A staffer walks by with a box of branded candles. Scent, resilience. I sniff, vanilla and plausible deniability. The board chair corners me, cufflinks tiny boats parked at his wrists. We're proud stewards. I say, awesome. Steward me into the general ledger. He pats my shoulder like I'm a Labrador with tax questions. We prefer to steward the narrative. The narrative is on fire, sir. In the break room, behind the decaf, the kitchen binder waits like a fairy tale that grows teeth. Tabs labeled adjustments, reclasses, donor joy. Donor joy is a folder of emails where rich people type, "This is why we give," after receiving professional photos of themselves. Meanwhile, a sticky note clings to the audit tab. Remember, change dates to event week. The system hums, self-lubricating with euphemisms, held together by winks. And that's when I realize, beating dad means beating the choreography, the soft focus emails, the late-night edits, the board that thinks oversight is a scented candle. I'm not just pulling a mask off one Scooby-Doo villain. I'm bulldozing a costume shop. So I stop asking politely for the front door and start mapping the air ducts. Logs, hooks, cron jobs, read-only mirrors to off-site storage. If the system loves theater, fine. I'm doing lighting design. Lights up on Act 2. The forensic breadcrumbs. The dusty iPad wakes up like a retired cop who still remembers everyone's license plate. It dings, syncs, and spits out a flood of drafts that smell like coffee and panic. Subject lines. DAF reclass. Donor flow. Emergency youth. Travel. Attachments. Wire memos. Where Linda battles spell check like it owes her money. Then I see it. My trust account number, waltzing through a memo labeled Donor Advised, like it dressed up in philanthropy for Halloween and stole all the candy. IP logs line up like traffic cameras. Log in, 1:59 a.m., Dad's study. Log in, 2:03, Linda's laptop. Log in, 2:14, Florida condo mischievously labeled Retreat Center. The condo HOA newsletter is in the inbox too, politely begging residents to stop grilling swordfish on the balcony. Apparently, program impact smells like smoke. I open the QuickBooks Audit Trail and it coughs truth dust. Restricted funds quietly become reclassified board direction. Board direction, like a GPS that only says into the ocean. Date stamps hug my birthdays. On my 18th, a neat transfer exits my trust, slips through GoodWorks like a tourist in comfy shoes, detours at Harborlight for consulting, then pays off a car that miraculously appeared in my stepbro's driveway with a bow and a caption, "Work hard, bless harder." Work hard? He Venmo requested me for gas last week. Tiny hook time. I send a $37 restricted grant with a memo that says Breadcrumb Alpha Youth Reading Nook. Unique string, like a serial number tattooed on a dollar bill. 48 hours later, boom, Breadcrumb Alpha shows up in GoodWorks incoming Harborlight staging, and something new. Mentor Craft Events. I pull their sunburnt Instagram, and there they are. Step-sibs on a boat, drinking mentorship. Caption, impact hits different at sea. Yeah, especially when you launder it on the Lido deck. Next breadcrumb, the insignificant object in movies that solves the case. Mine is a garage iPad with a cracked protector and a gummy bear fossil. It's still linked to Dad's cloud. In notes, I find a draft budget with a column labeled Temp to DAF, replace post-event. Replace post-event is like, I'll pay you back Tuesday, with a tuxedo. The row labeled Youth Retreat Transportation has a VIN next to it, and I swear to coupons, a smiley face. I run the VIN. Title resides with Emergency Youth Retreats LLC, same registered agent at our favorite notary carnival. The lien release date matches a donor appreciation brunch. Nothing says thanks like clearing a balloon payment. I swing to S3 access logs and catch a rhythm. Linda opens PDF_formal final 2.pdf at 2:01 a.m. Dad uploads board minutes in draft.doc at 2:07. Florida condo IP pushes audit or firm letterhead.png at 2:12. The fake auditor's office shares walls with a vape shop and a karate studio. Their CPA number belongs to a dentist. I call it. Voicemail says, we brighten smiles. Same, sir, but for prosecutors. Time's ticking. If I'm right, the money is mid-sprint, so I set a cron job to mirror the ledger to off-site storage every hour. I give it a code name, Toaster, because the only trustworthy witness in my life pops up when it's ready. The first mirror lands, and something shifts. A spike of transfers between 1 and 3 a.m. labeled pre-audit cleanup. That's not cleanup. That's panic with earmuffs. I follow the AIS pings on the mentorship yacht again because I am now a boat stalker with a purpose. During a community literacy workshop, the boat sits miles offshore, doing circles like a bored Roomba. The program roster has 0 minors and an event partner named Seaverse Experiences. Seaverse's bank account shares an address with Mentor Craft. I triangulate the $37 breadcrumb memo, and there it is in Seaverse's memo line, as if a fish wrote Alpha with a flipper. Found you, Nemo. The junior bookkeeper, whisper typing from her desk planter, sends a screenshot of the email rule that auto-forwards anything with audit to Dad and comms. It's labeled soothing. I add a new open loop for myself. Who built this Rube Goldberg guilt machine? The QuickBooks user Admin Temp appears on nights when Dad prays over budgets. Admin Temp edits include a recurring journal entry, trust offset, programmatic pipeline. Pipeline, like a water slide for ethics. Family chat dings. Stepbro posts a selfie with the coupe, captioned, paid in full, God is good. I resist replying, and so are revolving lines of credit apparently. Instead, I screenshot the loan payoff hitting 2 minutes after a Harborlight advisory stipend. The stipend memo says, mentor session, resilience. Resilience must be the car's paint coating. I call the bank's fraud team and float a hypothetical. If a restricted donation with a unique memo string appears across unrelated entities, is that normal? The rep inhales like she found a raccoon in the vault. Can you hold? I can, and while I do, I trace anonymous benefactor number 7 through envelope handwriting styles captured in scanned deposits. The loops on the Y match my godfather's pen, but the ink differs across dates. He didn't write those all at once. Someone backfilled his generosity. The truth is worse. The donor is a decoy, and the pen is a costume. Fraud lady returns with a tone that means lawyers are awake. We see patterns. We can freeze one transfer pending verification. I pick a small one, just enough to trip the wire without blowing the whole circuit. Freeze goes through. 10 minutes later, Dad texts, ungrateful. 15 later, disownment is on the table. 20 later, calendar invite, family mediation. Agenda item 1. Silence. I exhale, sip day-old coffee, and press save. The breadcrumbs have turned into a map. The map points to my name wearing a false beard, driving a boat to a condo, waving at a strip mall CPA who's a dentist. Time was running out, but that's when things got strange in the best way.